Yes.
I don't know what's happening.
Here we go. Ooh.
Shit.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're waiting for Carla to log back on. As always, we are experiencing technical challenges, which it goes to show whenever a message needs to get out, there will be interference, and it's mostly interference that you don't see, but it still has an effect. So we're going to give her a few minutes to come back on. Yeah, so greetings to all of the I'm My Sister's Keeper podcast viewers. I'm grateful for you supporting my sister friend, who's been a sister friend of mine for at least 30 years, actually, before I became a mom. So thank you for that. And like I said, we'll give her just a few minutes. There she is. See? There we go.
Let me tell you, sometimes it's man over machine, and a lot of time machines win, but not tonight. I don't know what to say.
They only win
There's
when we
always
give
some
up.
damn type of technical difficulty, and I really don't know why. I don't know what's happening. I don't
I
know.
just said that. I said, whenever a
Oh
message needs to get out,
God, I'm so
there's
sick of this.
interference that we don't see that still has an effect. So we'll chalk it up to that
All right, we're talking about
spiritual
that.
interference.
I'm turning my phone off so that there's no interruptions. So, family, good evening. We are so excited to be hanging out with you guys. I hope all is well. Hope everyone in the sound of our voices, hope you guys are healthy and staying out of trouble. Okay.
Mhm, that part.
And staying out of trouble. So this evening, Empress Liz and I are hanging out to discuss several topics, and we will not stray from the topics that we are scheduled to discuss this evening because
Yeah,
sometimes we stray and we don't want to do that.
right.
But before we jump into the conversation of the evening, I want to, of course, talk about the Women's Empowerment Conference that will
Yes.
be held August the 12th in Detroit. Shout out to all of the women's empowerment groups in Chicago, Detroit, Indiana, Ohio. You guys have been reaching out. You want to participate. We've been talking about what the conference for 2024 looks like, and so I just thank you so much for welcoming me into
Absolutely.
your community. And I look forward to building a solid foundation together. Shout out to everyone here, New Jersey, New York. Shout out to everyone in Manhattan, my friends in Brooklyn and Bronx,
Hmm.
Staten Island. I didn't leave out anyone, right? The Bronx. Did I say the Bronx?
We'll charge our head and not our
Yeah.
hearts.
Did I say the Bronx? Shout out to all of my friends who are standing behind me, who continue to wish me well, who support me in any means that I need some level of support from. So I thank you
Absolutely.
so very much. Shout out to all of my family members in Detroit, Ohio, Chicago, who are working nonstop behind the scenes
Tirelessly.
to ensure that when we get to the D in August, that all we
Oh,
have to do
man.
is show up and look cute, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
shout out to all of my family members
And
who
just
are
network and love
yeah
on each other,
who are working behind the scenes to ensure that
Hmm.
this conference is a success. Did I leave out any?
Absolutely.
Did I leave out anyone else? Shout out to all the ticket holders who have purchased tickets for the event. We appreciate it.
Yes.
The early birders, we
Hmm.
appreciate it. We're working on tons of, obviously we're still
Wonderful
working
things for you
behind the
guys.
scenes for the conference. But shout out to everyone who purchased tickets. If you have not purchased a ticket yet, don't play yourself.
Don't.
Go to Eventbrite and purchase your tickets. If you are affiliated with any of my social media platforms, there's always a link for Eventbrite. Purchase your ticket, purchase your ticket, purchase your ticket today.
Yes, you
The
don't want to miss
conference is
this.
not something that you don't want to miss.
No, you
However,
don't miss
however,
this.
if you aren't able to participate in 2023, we will have two conferences next year. We're going to have a conference in Brooklyn. Shout out to everybody in Brooklyn.
Yes. Hmm.
We're going to have a conference in Brooklyn, and we will again
Absolutely.
have another conference in the Midwest. And so there you have it. I'm done for now. Empress, take it away. I'm done.
Well, greetings to everyone. As always, I salute you all with the honorable words of grace, peace, mercy, truth, and love. May it be multiplied upon you all. I was talking to Carla the other day about an article that I came across that was so disturbing. There was mention of like an uptick or an increase, if you will, in colon cancer among younger people. And I
Mhm.
believe, if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me right, it was in the ages of the like 30s and late 20s, at the age where you're not always encouraged to do colorectal screening. So I thought that that was an opportune time, even though we've really been more on the subject of menopause and how to like deal with that and how to effectively deal with that without other health consequences
Yeah.
by doing certain hormone replacement treatments that are synthetic. And I'll leave it right there. I thought it was, a timely message to talk about, again, colon health. We all know that colon health is super important. It is at the root of most, if not all, diseases. So it's important that we understand, proper ways of cleansing. It's not always, we don't usually encourage laxatives. The safest way to clean the colon and detoxify the colon is fiber. And obviously, that would be, according to what we eat and things like that, especially for people who consume, especially if you consume like heavy foods like mucoid forming foods, cheeses, dairies, so, certain soy products, and that's more on the processed soy product level. You want to be mindful of making sure that we are purging our bodies of things that will eventually decay in our colon. So I kind of wanted to talk about that just a little bit because I think that that's a topic, even though we mention it. We talk about gut health. People are talking about probiotics and prebiotics and things of that nature. I don't think it's really resonating with younger people because it's usually you're told what after 35, maybe 40, to begin getting colorectal screenings. Now,
Mhm.
I know people, there are people that swear by colonics and things of that nature. Based on what I've learned and what I've studied with the Meadow Queen. And again, shout out to the Herbal Tea House, Jersey City, New Jersey,
Yep.
740 Grand 740 Grand Street, or www.greengreenscrub.com. One of the things that we find about that is that that's invasive. So if you do like the colonic or the colon irrigation method of cleaning your colon, now again, there are people that swear by it. It's not, everything's not for everybody. We feel that it's more, that's one of the more aggressive ways of doing it. And you stand the risk of pushing certain necessary bacteria into places that they don't belong in your body.
Oh
So
gosh.
what oftentimes will happen is after like a colon irrigation, you feel some, of course people feel good, but you always feel like this fatigue almost. There are some people who've had symptoms that make them feel like nauseous and things like that because certain bacteria belong in certain places in your gut. They have certain functions. And when you start doing things where you're, like I said, that particular process is pretty invasive. So you want to add, like I said, more fibrous foods to your diet. Of course, you want to stay hydrated. You want to drink lots of water. And again, we talked about the formula or the sweet number of ounces of water that we should be drinking a day. And I think it's like 50% of your body weight.
Yes.
And that's information that you can definitely look up on your own. We also want to make sure that we are drinking alkaline water, but we are preparing our alkaline water made from filtered water because when we alkalize our water, it doesn't remove impurities. It alkalizes it, but you want to make sure that you are using filtered water when you're alkalizing it. So
Mhm.
we talk about that, and then some people don't realize like symptoms. So if you're someone that you eat food and, granted, there are times that you'll eat something and it may not agree. with you, right?
Yes.
But if you're someone that you're experiencing like excessive bloating, or if you are back and forth with experiencing constipation and not going on a regular basis, like I said, there are certain telltale signs, and these are things that we have to address early because, again, most young people don't really pay attention kind of like that. You know what I'm saying, like to really say, okay, yesterday I didn't go the way I should, or they'll just probably chalk it up to maybe something that they ate. So I thought it was, like I said, timely to kind of bring that conversation up,
Yeah.
talk about just being mindful of your gut health and symptoms. I usually say to people, if you are experiencing something that becomes more frequent, like every other day, or like a daily thing, the first thing you want to do is you want to do a food journal. You want to document what it is that you ate that may have made you feel this certain way.
So
And
essentially, I'm sorry, Empress.
no, go
So
ahead. No, no.
essentially, you're saying that having a bowel movement every day,
You're supposed to go multiple times a day. Like,
yeah,
I
once
mean, there's
after you eat, right, right,
right,
is
because
something that should be happening,
absolutely
and you should be concerned if you're not, because normally
right,
after you eat, you will
right.
release,
So
right?
that right now, of course, most of us grew up in. I know I grew up in a household where we were programmed to not use public bathrooms, right? So I say that to say that we have these lives where a lot of we get up, we go to work, we're out all day long, come back.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people that may not have three a day, right? Because the
Hmm.
whole idea is that you're eating your food, your
Yep.
body's absorbing nutrients, and then the function of your body is to eliminate the waste, eliminate what you don't use.
Yes.
So it takes what, 3 hours to digest. I know, again, I remember coming across information about making sure you didn't eat like the first maybe 6 or 7 hours that you woke up, because your body needs to eliminate. But
Yeah.
most often, like I said, it's all about making that time, because you should not be rolling out the bed, rolling in the shower, rolling into your clothes, and rolling out the door. There's a shock to that. You know what I mean? You need to get your body up, have your warm lemon water, your warm ginger water, or if you're a tea drinker or if you're a coffee drinker, you need to get up and acclimate your body. Oftentimes, that will help your body want to eliminate
It needs
before
to
you
be
leave.
a system. Hmm.
Right. And so yeah, that becomes
Yep.
like a regimen for your body.
Hmm.
And again, it's important that we look at it at all times. I remember as a parent, I used to tell my children, before you flush the toilet, let me see when you have a bowel movement, because then I would determine, first of all, I was determining whether or not somebody, and you know what I'm talking about, was sneaking
Yeah.
them stuff that they had no business
Right.
eating.
Meat.
But
Meat.
also,
Hmm.
it's an indicator of like if you're not well. And so if your stool is not long and light before it breaks, you need to add a little more fiber to your diet. If you have something that's very hard and it's not, I know we're talking stool, but this is a life conversation, and we have to have conversations that may be like, what? But you have to look at it, because if it's not long and a certain, like I said, a certain color, if it's dark in certain places, or if it's like, I want to say turdy, people know what I'm talking about. You need to add fiber to your diet. You need to, like my smoothies, I'm always talking about my smoothies that I do with my coconut milk and my
Yeah,
oats,
me
because that's
too.
my thing. I love my oats, but I also put chia in it. I put
Flaxseed.
flaxseed in it. I
Yeah, I
put
do
wheat
too.
germ in it. I have all these fibers aside from my bananas and my fruits and my berries, because again, I'm not only eating for my blood sugar, I'm eating because
Yeah.
I'm menopausal. I'm trying to make sure that I'm covering all my bases. And
Yeah.
so what that does is, like I said, and even the Metal Queen, and again, I always say, I am not, I speak about different brands and things that I use. Yes, I use the Call to Life products that you find at the Herbal Tea House. They're Meadow Queens products. So she has internal scrub. Internal scrub is one of the products that you would use in a shake as well. Or smoothie, or you could just put it in juice and keep it pushing. And that's something that adds fiber to your diet. It also contains something called bentonite clay. So bentonite clay is something that when you consume it, it's like a magnet for toxins, and it scrubs
Oh,
and it cleans you out. And again, I am not talking about laxatives. I'm talking about safely cleaning your colon, because and I know people, like I said, I actually know one particular person who unfortunately is not here with us anymore, but years ago used to drink like laxatives. What is this one? Like milk of magnesia and things like that. Would drink those on a regular basis, and that is the thing you definitely do not want to do, because what that does is that um, it affects what they call peristalsis. Peristalsis is your bowel's ability, that urge to go, that urge to eliminate waste, fecal waste, is called peristalsis. So if you're somebody that every other day or every week or other week you're taking laxatives, you should not be doing that, because even if you think about like when we were kids, right? And our parents, because I know my mother would give me herbal cleansers in that way, right? The ones that you take, you can't go nowhere. It's gonna gripe you a little bit, but
yeah.
it's gonna clean you out. You're gonna get a washout, right? It's not like that. You want to do something more gentle. You want to be consistent with it, and again, make this part of your habit, because again, we all, like I said, these are things, some of these things are things we learned 30 years ago, and people are just coming to the
Yeah.
understanding and the importance of body flora, the prebiotics, the probiotics,
Yep.
and things like that. And so that's another thing, like if you are someone that you might need, you might be a little off balance, you want to add acidophilus to your diet as well, and that's something that creates, like I said, that bacteria that you need
The
in
good
your
bacteria.
in, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely, you can get a lot of those over the counter as well, and for that, those don't they won't affect your body's natural ability to eliminate waste, as the same way that a laxative would. So you want to be mindful of that.
Uh,
I know
I,
that was a
I,
lot.
yeah, and I have questions that are
uh,
coming
oh
in, so you know
Nancy
that, man.
just Hi, Nancy. Nancy Haddad just asked, what are my thoughts on fasting? Well, I do a lot of fasting. Now, it depends, as I mentioned to people, there's so many different types of fasting that I do and that people can do. I know people who do intermittent fasting. Sometimes I'll do intermittent fasting, but it's mostly unconscious when I do that.
So I'm sorry, Nancy. That's my
Yeah.
auntie. Hi,
Hi,
auntie. I love you.
is
Yeah,
that Dylan? That's Dylan's mom.
that's Dylan's mom.
Hi, Nan. Hi, Nancy. Can't wait to meet you.
That's
So with
Dylan's mom.
fasting, so there are many different ways. So we do, like I said, when I say we, I'm connected to a larger network of, health and wellness people, professionals, all of us livers, if you will, as well as my church network, my ministry network as well. We do a lot of fasting. So sometimes we'll do fasts where 40 days, for people that are eating meat, they're not eating meat. They're doing more, vegetables, that sort of thing. I've seen a lot of people's lives transformed doing that as well. There have been different types of fasts where we didn't do anything with sugar for 21 days. Um, that one was tough, because that one will have you reading labels more than normal. Um, when I did that one, that made me come off dairy yogurt. Like I did that one a few years ago. I haven't done dairy yogurt since. I only do coconut milk and almond milk based yogurt as a result of that one. So I always encourage people, if you're going to do fasting and you're new to it, you want to start off, small. Remember, small changes bring large improvement.
Hmm.
You want to make sure, likewise, I can't wait to meet you. You want to make sure you are eating breakfast, which, I know for people that may be fasting spiritually now because we are in Ramadan is being observed
Yes,
right
yes,
now,
yes.
but even with that they eat at that morning prayer, because there's something about that. We have to have that energy, we have to do that. And a lot of times people, when they'll fast, they don't do the right research, and it can definitely be something that would be detrimental if you are not doing it properly. So I would say definitely figure out what, if you wanted to do an intermittent fast. I have friends that do that. That's like they'll eat like they'll go 6 hours, 8 hours without eating. And again, you can customize it to you. Um, yeah, like I said, we've done tons of different fasts. Fasts where I've done fasts where I don't drink coffee at all, which is, like I said, a tough one. But again, what it's done for me is I still drink coffee, but I don't drink it like I used to. I used to drink maybe 3 cups in a work day.
Yeah, I could do
I
six
don't I
easy.
don't go past one, maybe one and a half. But I just don't, that's the one thing about fasting, is that it really, if done correctly, it will adjust your eating habits. It will discipline you in a way where, like I said, it will help you uh, work on your weight if that's your target. If you're someone who you're, again, diabetes is something that's very close to, the Meadow Queen in terms of people that she's helped. So I've been in that realm of dealing with people that are, controlling their A1C levels, people
Yeah,
who are, so in that, and especially with people that are diabetic, you guys have to eat. Like you can't just go long periods of time. So when you are considering that, you have to customize it to, like I said, what would work for you without being a detriment.
got
I
it.
hope that answered your question, because that was a lot.
We have questions coming in regarding menopause, where
Okay,
we
okay,
so it's a situation of folks want us to pick up where we left off at,
that's fine.
and
Yep.
you were talking about items that you could eat that would help you uh, kind of stay
Cool,
calm. Yeah,
cool and
yeah,
calm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So again, when we talk about menopause, right? Most often the first thing we talk about are what? Our personal summers, right?
For those who have that, for those who,
Right.
'cause there's tons
But
of different symptoms. Yeah,
right, but there are tons of different symptoms, but that one is
that
the
one's a big one.
most
Yeah,
main, like
and
mostly
common.
all of us will have that,
Yeah.
because our estrogen levels are decreasing, and what that controls is that function called vasomotor, which is how your blood vessels constrict and dilate. Okay, so that's what causes the hot flashes, because
Hmm.
our estrogen levels are, decreasing, right? Our ability to produce it. So that's why we have to do what they call phytoestrogen rich foods. And off the top of my head, it just oh my God, it just flew out of my head. I can tell you some of the foods. Oh, wait. Okay. So oats, my favorite, oats, always oats. Barley, I know is good, and estrogen rich. Again, some of the soy products, right? So you don't want to do maybe processed soy so
Hmm.
much, but you definitely want to do, like your seeded beans, and I say seeded beans because sprouted rather, because
Okay.
we'll take lentils and soak them and they sprout. Those are the types of foods you want to eat. You want to make sure that you're eating what they call cooling foods as well. Cucumbers. What was the other one? Cucumbers,
I think you
watermelon,
said celery.
celery. I'm sorry?
I think you said celery.
Celery for sure, because those are cooling foods. And those are the type of things between the cooling foods and the phytoestrogen rich foods that will help you kind of deal with that part of that symptom of the hot flashes, right? But then some of us, like me, oh my God, that insomnia.
Yep.
And melatonin does not work for me. Melatonin does not work for me. So I usually have to kind of wind down. I was looking at something earlier about 5 specific yoga poses or yoga postures that help in getting sleep. And we can maybe talk about that another time because there were like 5 different ones. I know there was
Yeah.
one that's called the child's pose where you're kind of on your knees and you're like in like a prostrate prayer position, and it kind of winds you down. Another suggestion, obviously, which is not uncommon, is to go dark. So make sure you're turning off your TVs, your devices, if you have devices. So what I do sometimes is I'll have my device on nature sounds. That can be rain. Sometimes it could
Oh,
be
that's
the
relaxing.
hum of the wind. I have a lot of meditational music, like tantric music, and things like that. So you can do a lot of different things with respect to that, but the whole idea is that you want to bring yourself down. You want things that are going to quiet your spirit. If you feel like you are really getting anxious in that way, magnesium helps. There's a product that we use called Calm. It has like this citrusy taste. You put a
I've seen
tablespoon
it.
in some
Yeah, I've seen
water.
it.
It is the I used to give that to my children too. You can give it to children because it's not something that everyone, everyone can pretty much take it. So you want to think about that. Now, there are other symptoms that we talk about that often doesn't get a lot of attention. I really don't have too much suggestions in terms of how to deal with relief of that. And that has more to do the with the vagina itself, like the vaginal dryness and pain during intercourse. That's something different. But as far as, like I said, the hot flashes, the anxiety, the insomnia, those are things, like I said, you can do aromatherapy. I know people who have like humidifiers.
Yeah.
You put the humidifier, you can put a drop of rosemary, you can put a drop of eucalyptus or some lavender. Most often people use lavender to kind of calm. Me, I like lavender, but I also like, honeysuckle and different fragrances. And I always encourage people to, that's another reason why I sleep with flowers by my bed. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I sleep
Or maybe you did.
with flowers. I try to buy, and as a matter of fact, I need to get another bouquet because I just threw the bouquet that I had. Usually, flowers last me like a week and a half, and I didn't get a chance to get out. But I usually sleep with a bouquet of fresh cut flowers. I'm not talking about roses. Our roses have been so jacked up and hybrid seeds that there's no scent. I need flowers that have a scent, and so I usually buy lilies. That's my favorite, one of my favorite flowers, and I sit them by my bed. So when I'm sleeping, when I'm trying to do my deep breaths to, still my soul, still myself, clear my head and my mind, I'm smelling the
The flowers.
flowers, and it just
That's
does
nice.
something to me. It makes me feel like I'm outside. I also burn incense, and things like that. Now I know for some people, the people have their thoughts on incense. I love incense. I have so many packs of it because that just keeps my space very zen. You want to definitely, like as you always recommend, say affirmative words until you feel it, until you calm your soul. And of course, which many people probably would have thought I said first. I also, like I said, I definitely pray before I go to sleep.
We have a ton of questions. We
Absolutely.
can't we can't get into all of them this evening. Uh,
Hmm.
However, once again, folks want to know about yoga in the park. It's really not warm yet here. Well, where you are, it is yoga in the park. Um, have you thought about that further? Yoga in the
Yeah,
park.
yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna reach out to our wonderful friend Lisa Rose from the Common Earth Company. She
Yeah,
don't know it yet, but I'm gonna
yeah.
reach. Well,
Folks
she
want to
may
know
already be
about
doing
yoga.
yoga in the park,
Yeah,
but I'm
folks
just
want to know
saying. I
about
figure
yoga
I
in the
really
park.
feel, yeah, I because she has her studio, so I mean, I'm just saying it wouldn't be unlikely that she would do a segment there.
Right.
But I'm saying this for your listeners, for your viewers, definitely I would call her. She would be my go-to first call to have her conduct it. I mean, I do postures of my own. That's not a whole class. You know what I mean? And again, I want to. What I'll do is I'll try to put something together that maybe we can that you can put in the chat. Maybe like if I send it to you,
Please,
you can cut it
please.
and
And I
paste it
also
and
need
just
your
have
email address.
different postures and stuff. Where did you want me to put the my email in the
Put it
private
in the
chat?
chat. Yeah, put it in the chat because I have, there's a lot of information coming through. Folks want your email address. They want to reach out to you. They have questions that they don't necessarily want to discuss live, and that's fine. So Liz is going to put her email address in the
That says
chat.
private chat
Yeah,
though.
you have to go to the other chat, or
Okay.
or
And
maybe
where's that at? Let's
um,
see.
yeah. I wonder if I could cut and paste. If I could cut and paste, then I might. Oh,
You deleted it?
no, I didn't. It didn't allow me to do that.
Oh
So
goodness. I'm trying to figure out why everybody could. Let me see. Mm-mm-mm.
in the same, so in the chat box that you use to
Mhm.
respond to Miss Haddad, you could put it in there.
Wait, let me see. I'm not able to respond. I can see it.
Mm.
It just says restream. Give me one
All right.
second.
So what I'm going to do is I will ensure that your email address is in the details to our live. Tons of questions. Folks want to speak to you one on one. Lots of people this evening. They don't necessarily want their questions shared, and that's fine. I
And
completely
that's perfectly
understand.
fine. Everything is
I
strictly
completely understand.
absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I will make sure that you um, get those, the email addresses for the folks that are sending me
Yes.
information now.
Yes, just send it to me and please just give me like at least 24 hours to follow up. I will acknowledge it. If it's something that I need to do research or get information from some other source, I will definitely at least let you know that. And I welcome questions. And again, this is about, for me, this is about empowering people to, just be proactive about your life. I mean, I hesitate to say this, but it's, since we've dealt with the reality of COVID,
Hmm.
it has certainly made people more open to the conversation of health and wellness in a different way, in a
Yeah.
more holistic, preventative way. And that's all I've ever tried to promote is that like earlier today, and I have to bring this up because I went to order my dinner and I'm looking at this young man and I'm like, oh, and I see him going, he's sniffling. I'm not close to him, mind you, but I noticed he was sniffling. So I asked him, what do you have, allergies? Your allergies bothering you? He goes, no, no, I got the flu. Just like that. And when I tell you,
Okay.
that thing irritated my soul. I had to look. I said to him, I said, "Oh, okay. So and I'm kind of doing that. Like, stay where you are." And he goes, "No, everybody has the flu." I said, no, we don't all have the flu. Like
Don't.
what?
I know you're crazy. I know you're
What? And
crazy.
I let me tell you, I he was working in the restaurant. He had to take my order. Now I wasn't staying there. I basically this is where I am. I order, I get it to go. But I called one of the other servers and said, when check the chef, tell the chef to hold my food back there. I'll sign the ticket later. I don't want him touching my food. And they were like, what? I said, he's not feeling well. I don't want him touching my food. Leave it there. And
Hmm.
so I went to go get my food and I overheard someone say, well, why doesn't she want you to touch your food? He goes, I don't know why. But I said to him earlier, I said, we're not all sick. And I told the other server, I don't want him touching it because he's sick. I don't think that that's an unreasonable demand. And I said, it's the kind of thing where I get it. We all have to work. Some
Yeah.
jobs are very, which I don't understand how after all that we've gone through with COVID and all other kind of communicable diseases, that at this juncture, when somebody comes to work not feeling well and having sniffles and, like I said, transmittable ish, they should be able to go home and still get paid for that day. Like it's insane to me because, and the first thing I did, I
That that's bigger than us.
girl, look, I came up here. The first thing I did was my oregano oil. Doop doop.
Tanya from Chicago. Shout out to Tanya in Chicago. Shout out
Oh,
to everybody in
my
Chicago.
favorite city in the world. No
Tanya
disrespect, New
wanted
York.
to know
Yeah,
why were we on so late. Tanya, we have been trying to go live all week. It's just we're busy. And it always seems as
life.
if we're not able to get on literally until after 8 p.m. But in the weeks to come, our schedule should lighten up a tad bit, and we
Absolutely.
promise that we will be on before this time now because folks are retiring and getting ready for their
Yeah.
work weeks. And so we completely understand and we're sorry. We make a promise that
Well,
going
thanks for
forward,
tuning
and
in.
we always say this and we still end up going live so late, but we will make it a point to see you guys before 9:10 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Empress Lizz, what day do you think we could come back on
Um,
so that
these, like I
we
said,
can
this
continue
week
this? And
is
I'll send
pretty.
you all the questions and comments.
Yeah,
And
please do. Let's try for Wednesday because I know usually unless Wednesday's not good for you, but
no, Wednesday is fine with me. I'm available Wednesday.
okay. All
I
right.
have
Yeah, let's do that
availability
because in
Wednesday. I
this
don't have
way,
anything planned
if with whatever
other than
questions
regular work
and
stuff.
information I need to gather, it'll give me a minute to get that together and um, reach out also to my resources to see because a lot of times, like I said, the good thing is that we're a network of people that we all bounce off of each other. And so if I ask Meadow Queen, hey, say this is what I'm thinking is happening here, she'll say, you know what, either look at this or not look at that, or yes, that's exactly right. One of the things that I didn't, I wanted to bring that I ended up not bringing, I was at the beach yesterday and we, there was all this bladderwrack on in the water, and I know people thought I was out of my mind because I kept picking it up. I did do a couple of videos, but the sun was so bright that it
Yeah, we
didn't.
I didn't see any videos.
Yeah, I didn't post them because the
Oh,
sun was so bright that they, like it didn't.
we couldn't see.
I don't think anyone would really have appreciated it in terms of seeing being able to see it. But it was just I'm like, we are surrounded by medicine, and that is my point for bringing that up. Even those of us that live in urban areas, when you are walking past, Tita used to call it like an urban wasteland. That's really, it's not even an urban wasteland. It's more like, we can walk and we can find
Herbs.
herbs right there. I have wild rosemary growing out of the concrete on my block. I'm
Well, see,
just
most people wouldn't know that. Yeah,
right,
most
but
people
I'm
know that.
just saying, be aware of your, especially for those of you that are taking an interest again in proactive, holistic maintenance. Keeping your rosemary in your house, keeping your eucalyptus in your house, keeping your, these things that not only promote health and wellness, but they prevent sickness and dis-ease. And even I have one of my nieces, she has a little baby, another one had constipation and whatnot, hadn't gone in like 2 3 days,
Wow.
stomach tight and everything. And at that point with a little baby, you have to do the suppository. Our mothers used to do it with ivory soap. Remember that? Do the suppository. And to release that, but you got to give these babies water. You have got to, without question, give these babies water. They get thirsty.
Why would you not give your
Well,
baby water?
that's
I
my
don't,
question.
I
I have
don't
had, I want to say, probably since 2009, 2010, Titta started, Titta, I'm sorry, Meadow Queen started sending me clients of women who were told by their medical professionals to not give their children water. And
I don't
they
understand that.
never gave them, I think and I was talking about this earlier with someone. Um, if my memory serves me correctly, the particular client, the very first person that said it, the baby was not it was a baby that drank formula, and she said that the doctor told her don't give the baby extra water because of something about water accumulating on their brain. Now again, that was a long time ago, so I don't want anyone saying that that's exactly what it was. I remembered it sounding to be that way.
Yeah, that's
But
hard.
we always gave our children water. Our parents always gave
Yeah, I
us
don't
water
understand
as
that.
babies. I mean, most of us got water with Karo syrup in it. Come on
Right.
now.
Right.
It's
Water's life. Yeah,
water
water's
with
life.
honey
Yeah.
in it, so it's the kind of, and I gave my children water with lavender in it sometimes, or chamomile if I wanted them to calm down, or fennel if they were gassy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's, they were told not to give their children, and then maybe I need to do a little more research on that, because that again, just the other day, I just got a phone call
I don't
about,
understand that.
thankfully this baby was yeah, I think he's about 7 months, because I can remember telling her to give him a cap full of like just a little cap full of wheat germ as well, to lubricate his intestines. Like, I mean, I'm you not drinking water, you have to have fluid, some kind of water fluid
Mm.
to make sure your bowels can
So that your body works effectively.
pass. Right, because with babies it's especially dangerous, because their bowels can rupture.
Mm.
You don't want that, because that's obviously septic
Mm.
contamination. They could die from that. So
No, we don't want that.
that's what it is.
We're going to be back on family earlier than, the time that we
Hmm.
started. We know that it's late. Folks are saying, Carla, why are you so quiet tonight? It has been a long day,
Yeah.
family. It has been a long weekend, and sometimes I am quiet.
Mhm.
I am quiet. It's been a long weekend. I've had a lot to do. Oh, thank God it's over, and look forward to Monday.
I had one more thing to mention, if you
Yes,
wouldn't, if it's
yes,
okay.
yep,
Again, to the point of any of your viewers that are looking to transition to a more plant-based, and not, maybe not completely, but a more plant-based diet, and how I always say, be mindful of
yeah.
the processed plant-based products. Again, I like my little black bean burgers every now and again, and no, I'm not always making them myself. Okay, I do, but I don't eat them. That's not my primary staple of my diet, or my eating habits, as I should say. So please be mindful, because there was a recall last week of plant based chicken nuggets, or the plant based nuggets. I'm not going to mention the brand. If you want to Google recall alert, you
Yeah.
can do that, and get that information. But there were wood chips.
Oh,
They were contaminated by wood chips, and it will cause a choking hazard, quote unquote. So again, that is my reminder of being mindful of eating processed foods, whether it be plant based or not. Because again, that key part of that phrase is process. That means it got to go through some sort of process. I don't know if I want to eat processed foods. So
yeah. You
just
never really talk about processed food. You always encourage folks to
explore
create
and
meals.
react.
Yeah, to
Yep, and
create meals.
reacclimate
Enjoy yourself
yourself.
in the market. It's got to be about color. The more
Absolutely.
color, the better.
And again, connect yourself, because what I do and what I did was I connected myself to people who eat the same way. So again, vegan vita underscore 1111 on Instagram. That is my cousin. She is a
Hey, cousin.
phenomenal vegan chef. She does, if you're in the Jersey City tri-state area, every Friday night she puts her menus out on Wednesday. Friday night, she has a delivery and pickup service. All of that food is fresh. I know she will be launching, if she hasn't launched it already, because again, I'm not in town.
Yeah.
But she's launching a meal prep meal prep delivery service. So if you're someone like I said, I posted it on my page when she first mentioned it. That is the helping hand that you need. That is the extended hand that if you are
Yeah.
someone that you are looking to transition to a more healthy diet, whether it be partially plant based or fully plant based, you can't lose because you're adding more nutritious foods to your diet. And
That
that's the
sounds
thing. You want
yummy.
to
Yeah, that
nutrify
sounds
your
that
body.
sounds fabulous.
I'm
That
I'm
sounds
so
fabulous.
excited for her, man, because her food is good. And
It
I know it
does.
may I said to my friend once, I know I may sound biased, but she even before she started doing this, when we would have our family events, and whatnot, she would make vegan dishes. And even the times that she didn't make vegan dishes, let me tell you, the girl could cook. She can throw down. So, like I said, vegan Vita underscore 1111. There's also another person I follow on IG called Healthy Girl Kitchen. On Facebook, you have vegan soul food. You have all these.
I've
Just
seen it.
just look it up. Do the research. This is for your life. I thought about when I heard that article about the colon cancer, um, for that's happening and occurring in younger people.
Yeah,
I thought about myself at 25 and 24 and 23, and I remember making a conscious decision, somewhat of a conscious decision, and some of it was just more. I just gravitated toward more healthy eating, and that was around the time, like I said, it was all timely because it was around the time that I met the Meadow Queen when she had the tropical bodega, and that's when I began to really start learning more about the herbal part of life
yeah,
aside from what I was introduced to in my home. So I'm grateful that I started doing that in that time of my life because I'm at the stage that I'm at now, and
yeah,
there are things that I'm working on, but it ain't I'm not working on my A1Cs.
yeah.
That's for sure. So I'm grateful for that, and I always encourage people, if you have thought about making the change, salute yourself because that's that first step in the right direction. If you have been taking this walk around the block a couple of times and you stop on that one corner and you ain't moved in a minute, don't beat yourself up. Start again tomorrow. Make a plan. And just like, one of the things I appreciate about you, Carl, is that you're so organized in helping people. No, no, no. I'm saying this. You are organized when you are saying, okay, boom, I want to do this. Let me write it down. Write a vision, make it plain.
I do. I
Write
am
a vision, make it
organized.
plain. And don't
I
beat
am.
yourself up. Be forgiving of yourself. Find out what works for you because in the immortal words of Diane Bean, aka the Meadow Queen, what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander.
And if
Okay.
you have a friend
Hmm.
who lives a very healthy lifestyle, hang out with them because you used to drag me in Manhattan. Well, we were in the city all the time
We would
anyway.
be at Eva's.
We were in the city all
Eva's and
the time
Gourmet
anyway, but
Garage.
my God, you would take me to some of those places and I would be like, I'm not eating that.
But you
I'm
did.
not eating that. But we used to have a good time because you
We
would introduce me to all of these different things that I didn't even know existed. So I
Yeah, but
was
you
pretty
were
open
receptive to
minded.
the
Yeah,
introduction,
I was
sis.
open minded to quite a few of the options, but then some of that
Right.
raw, I was like, I'm not, this is where I draw the line.
Right. Right. But you were open
Yeah, I was.
to the introduction because when
Mhm.
somebody, there's a yeah, you were open to the introduction, and that's what's key. Like, I have friends um that I've been around as of, late, and there was a certain hesitancy about certain things that I would share in this
Yeah.
realm of proactive health maintenance, right? I don't say another word. I show and prove. You understand? If you're going to be around me, you're going to see the things that I say that I do and that I'm doing. I'm not going to argue with anyone to
No.
to take care of
You never
themselves.
have. I've known you. I don't how many years have I known you?
It's been about
35?
30 because somewhere
30
because
or
well,
30?
I gauge it based on Heru. Heru is going to be 29 in July,
Oh,
and I knew
geez.
you at least 2 years or so before he came into my life.
Mhm.
So that's how I kind of.
Ever since I've known you, you have been very committed to what you stand for. I have never seen anything different, to be honest. That's just what you do. That's what I know. When
Glory.
you had your first son, who is my baby,
You're stinky.
uh, yeah, who is my baby, you were very serious about ensuring that your children were eating properly. And we know that there were folks in your family who insisted that you didn't know what you were talking about
That
and that they
part.
were going to give them meat. And when they gave him meat, the whole inside of his mouth was
Yeah.
inflamed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. And so, like I said, I've known you for years, and this has always been you. There's been no change.
I first of all, thank you for that. And it's kind of hard. I think one of my focuses was when I had my children. We always hear about people wanting everything to be perfect. Got to save up this amount of money. I got to do, I even had that conversation with someone this week about, them planning on having a child with their husband. And I said, it's funny when I hear people say that. And yes, preparation's key. But when I had Haru, when I was pregnant with him, I had a great job, great benefits, blah, ooh, blah, blah, all of that. Everything was aligning itself. Lived in a great neighborhood, as you know, because we were neighbors for the most part.
Yeah, it was a nice.
Right. And I lost my job, 4 months pregnant. My world changed. And so I remember thinking, what a blessing it was that I lost that corporate job. I was not looking at it like, yeah, of course I was nervous at first, but I was just coming into the fullness. I had my locks were like a year in almost. And I knew that I wanted my life to reflect who I was inside, and I didn't care really who liked it or not. And then when I had my children, I was almost adamant, more adamant than anything, to raise them in a God-centered Afri-conscious household. And that was what I was thinking, one that was rooted in the fact that we are spiritual beings, that we serve a higher purpose, a higher power, God, the true and living God. And I'm not going to get into separation of spiritual beliefs. I'm not going to get into that.
Right.
All I know is what I taught my children, in a way that celebrated who they are. They all, as you know, they all have comedic names, all of them. We waited until they got here to see who they were, and thankfully, I was with someone that was able to. We were able to provide that information for our children to set this foundation that they were, you know, yeah, we were raising them different than what may have been our traditional or
Hmm.
um, upbringing. So I just, like I said, I did face a lot of opposition, but I didn't even think about that at the time. I just knew that these human beings were entrusted entrusted to me, and that they came into my world. I was not about to surrender to them, so to speak. I think I'm reloading. Do I? Okay, I think okay.
No,
I was not.
you're not reloading. It looks
Oh,
fine.
thought it was glitching, but I was not about to. I just was not. They came into my world. I always felt like that. Noom used to get on me about that. He was like, "You walk around here, you don't stop, you won't stop," and I'm like, "I can't. They're my gas. They're my fuel." We after Sebek, it was just like nonstop, and I was doing things. In my mind, I wanted to create a legacy for my children that was ours. I didn't want to necessarily go into a specific place and work. I was really trying to build on my creative talents and have
Yeah,
that be
every day
my
you were hustling. Every day.
yeah, and
That's
that
what I
that was
remember.
that. But yeah,
That's
they
what
came
that's
into
what I
my world.
remember.
And I even said that to my son. I was talking to Cirque earlier, and I said, because like I said, we've had some, I'm sure you know what's happening right now, and not to get too deep into it. And I said, I want you to put something into perspective right now. And he's like, "What, Mom?" I said, "How would it feel to have a 1, 2, 3 and a 5-year-old?" And he's like, "What?" I said, "You're 24, your sister's 25, your other sister's 23. That's 23, 24, 25, right? And Haru is 2.5 years older than Sebek, right?
Yeah, you
No,
had your hands full.
he's
You
three
had
years,
your hands
right?
full.
So the
You had
point
your
of it
hands full.
was is that I did it, and yeah, I had my tribe right there. You being one of the many
Yeah.
parts of this village, of this tribe, that helped shape and raise these kids. But like I said, they were my gas. I don't know. I just knew. And for all you parents that are on the line, I'm telling you, you can change the narrative in how you raise your children. I'm talking about the little ones, because see, now my kids are all grown adults. They doing and living their life. They still, for the most part, adhere to the dietary ways that they were raised. Yes. When they start feeling a little sniffles, yes, they will call me up and say, Ma, I need, what I need to do. What should I take? Yes, all of that. But I'm
Right.
talking about you parents of younger children, that you are concerned with whether or not they're going to want to be on this journey with you. They should be on anything that you are doing to live and have a healthy life. Your children need to be involved in it. If you're going to the gym, you should
Yeah.
be at least, because my children used to meditate with me. I used to teach, especially the boys. I had to have them sit down. It used to crack me up. We used to be sitting there like in the lotus position. We have to include our children. We push them away. We don't include them. We think they're not going to like. Who are we to tell them what they like or don't like? Or who are we to, in the sense of saying, listen, I'm going to go on a plant based diet and I'm not going to include them? We have to include our children. We have to. We have children that are suffering from obesity, high
Hmm.
blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes.
Obesity. Yeah. That. Oh,
Yes, and let me
diabetes.
tell you,
That's
I need to be
crazy.
high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, diabetes, all of that.
Yeah.
They are getting the same medication an adult is getting, just in a different dose. So I have another client. I haven't met with her in a while, but she's 35 years old. She does dialysis 3 times a
Mm.
week because when
Wow.
she was 8, she was misdiagnosed as a diabetic. Misdiagnosed as a diabetic. By the time they realized she wasn't, they had been giving her insulin, and it killed her kidney. She's on dialysis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You,
horrible.
we have to include our children. It is a matter of life and death. It's the same, we are so quick to teach them things that are not going to serve them. And I'm not going to get into specifics. We know what we teach our kids that are not going to serve them. Okay. The least we could do is teach them how to eat correctly. And like I said, I'm not beating up on anybody in terms of their eating habits. If you're a meat eater, then hey, that's what you do. But make sure you have that salad. Make sure you have those fresh vegetables. Make sure you keep fruit in your house. Keep other options. Stop giving these kids processed foods that when they're 30 and 40 years old, they're having all kinds of ailments, arthritis, eczema. We have to include our children. It's a matter of life and death. I know our parents included us, didn't they?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Family. You guys are blowing up. You guys are blowing up. Uh, you guys are blowing up my email. You're blowing it up. I know that it's late. We are committed to being on before 9 p.m. because I know folks want to know why I'm so quiet. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, and sometimes I am quiet. I don't always have to be the life of the party, okay? Because I'm really a shy person. I really am. I
Right.
I am. I
No, you
am.
are, but you're a sociable person.
I am
You're a
sociable, but
sociable
you know that I'm a
person.
loner and I'm very, you
You're a
know that.
loner that got a whole lot of friends.
I'm a loner I'm very sociable. I'm very sociable, but
I know.
I can be very shy and
No,
quiet.
I know what you mean, though,
I can be very shy and quiet, but I'm sociable. I am.
for sure.
And tonight I'm just taking it all in because it's been a really long night. And remember,
Yeah.
getting ready for the Women's Empowerment Conference. It doesn't stop. Women's Empowerment Conference 2023 is going down
Lit,
August
lit,
12th.
lit.
2023 in Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to everybody in the booth. I'm
Everybody in the
coming. I'm
building.
on my way. I am
Absolutely.
on my
And
way. And when I
I just
show
want
up,
to add,
I'm gonna show out.
we
Okay.
have
I'm on my way.
iconic women that will be speaking at this event. I'm so excited, especially
Absolutely,
about the
we do.
keynote speaker. I'm excited about Dr. Ruffin's presentation. I'm
Dr.
excited
Bennett.
about Dr. Bennett's presentation. I'm excited that we'll be able to just commune and really
We
get
have
information
Tracy,
out.
who is an engineer at
Right.
General Motors.
I wanted to say the engineering because really I was talking about her and the president of the the UAW.
Hmm.
And it's really important, like I said, that they be mentioned. I don't think that we are aware of all of the contributions, especially on those levels, in the industrial world, that we are making right now. So definitely shout out to them, and everybody in the D. I can't wait. It's gonna
I'm
be
coming.
nice and
I'm coming.
warm.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Shout out to all of my friends who want to take me out for lunch and dinner and brunch and uh, lunch cocktails. I will be there. We will hang out. I thank you so much. I'm excited. Have a lot of work to do when I hit the D. When I
Yeah,
get there, there's a lot of stuff that I have to kind of finalize because when I show up in August, I'm just going to show up to be cute. I mean, I know, I
that's
have
it.
a conference. I know that I have things that I have to do, but the heavy lifting
It's
will
gonna
be
be
done.
done already.
Shout out
Absolutely.
once again to all of the women's organizations in Chicago, in Detroit, Ohio, Indiana, the tri-state, who are reaching out to me because they want to be a part of the Women's Empowerment Conference 2024. Uh, at one point we were just trying to finish 2023, the conference in August, and with all of the love and support, you got to give the people what they want, right? So
Absolutely.
we'll
We
have
need it.
we'll have a women's empowerment conference in Brooklyn. We have to have one on this side,
Definitely.
right? And then we'll go to the Midwest, and we will have one again in Detroit next year, 2024. But we'll have more details regarding the conference in 2024 after August the 12th.
I
Yes.
have a question. Do we have any more vendor tables available, or the vendor spots filled?
Mhm.
Okay, so you vendors.
We have three, and that's a good call out. We have three tables that are left. We have three tables
Ooh,
that are left. However,
wow.
when I get there in August,
Mm-hmm.
I will be able to give you just some additional feedback
Mm-hmm.
regarding the setup because there's a
Right.
possibility we may be able to squeeze in five
Okay.
additional vendor tables and not the three, but
Right.
I will have that information for you guys. I will probably go live in the D. I
You
intend to
have
go.
to.
Yeah, I intend to go
Oh
live.
my God. Yes, you have to.
I
You
intend to go
better.
live, and I'm gonna
And
interview
you better have
people.
Dana
And
Dane on. Shout out to
yeah,
Dana.
shout out to my
Mm-hmm.
sister who has
Yes,
played a huge
ma'am.
part in this. Shout out to my entire family,
Yes.
my auntie Vicky. Shout out to my auntie Vicky. She's small, but she's powerful. Shout out to my auntie Pam. Shout out to my auntie Nancy. To my
Yes.
uncle
That's
Daniel.
Dylan's mom.
Mhm, Dylan's mom.
Yeah, like I
Shout out
just.
to everyone. Shout out to everyone who's working behind the scenes. Shout out to my niece.
Yes.
Shout out to my brother, my little
Yes.
sister. Shout out
Nephew with the
to,
t-shirts.
oh my gosh, shout out to my nephew with the t-shirts. Shout out to everyone. I feel like I'm
Yes.
missing someone and they will really set me on fire because I didn't shout them out. But
Mama
I'm not.
Carol.
Oh God. Shout out to my mother who I told to just show up and be cute, but she
Oh, she
insisted
gonna show
she
up and be
wants to
cute.
work.
We need to have a
But yeah,
yeah. We
she
need to
wants
have
to
a
show up and
throwing ready
work.
for
So
her.
my mom is going to
Mm.
work
The
the
woman who
swag
made it all possible.
table.
Come on now,
Shout out to my mama.
please.
Okay. Shout out to my mama.
That's it.
And so
Absolutely.
she's going to work the swag back table because she wants to work. I didn't ask my mama to, work. She said she wants to. Okay, girl. So we'll just have her at the swag back table. But shout out
You
to
gonna let her have her
everyone
way.
who has shown me love regarding the event. So listen, if you follow me on my social media platforms, I always have the login information for Eventbrite. You guys want to buy your tickets now? Don't play yourself and don't wait so late. Don't wait
Honey, you want to
because they're
be
sold
there,
out. If you're gonna
and
play
you do
yourself,
not want to be there virtually because we will have accommodations for live streaming, but you want to be in the building.
you want to be in the building, and
Promise.
so get your tickets. Get your tickets
Absolutely.
today. Go to Eventbrite. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to myself or to Liz. My email address is I'm my sisters, SISTA keeper, the number two at gmail.com. If someone else tries to correct me regarding the correct spelling of sister, I know how to spell sister. It's SISTER, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying sister. Okay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I know how to spell sister. Thank you. Um,
Okay.
and so, Empress Liz, the next time we're back on, I know that you're working on hotel.
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to say that too, because you're going to be in the D. So I'm trying to set it up too that you can pop and do a quick little site visit
Yeah, I got a lot of
to
stuff
the
to do.
spots.
So you need to
Absolutely.
send me
So
a
we
to-do
definitely
list
will
for
be
that.
locking that information in. And if you want to,
Because some of the speakers are requesting to stay near the venue. So everyone wants to stay near the
yeah, most of the
venue.
stuff is downtown. It's downtown Detroit. It's not
Right, right. But
yeah.
folks want
So,
to stay closer to the venue for the
right.
I want to
All
say
right. Well, then
concert, not
we'll work that
for the
out. I mean, you'll be
conference,
on the
and then
ground, so
after the conference, then we coming back.
absolutely.
Right after the conference, we're coming back. So people want to stay near the venue for the event just because it'll be easier. And
Right.
I thought I would be able to do so too, but I'm not sure now
Yeah, well,
because
I was looking,
I don't know if
this
that's
my
gonna happen.
lane anyway, but I was looking, so sweet. I was looking for because I,
That's my auntie.
obviously did the search based on the city because we're going to be in Sterling Heights, right? Right. And most of like I said, the closest in terms of branded properties and places to stay was downtown Detroit, which I think was like 20 minutes away, right?
It's not far at all. It's not.
Right.
We
Well,
just
then that's
a lot of folks are requesting to stay near the venue because they just want to show up, right? Because
all right. Well, Airbnb.
after the conference,
Mhm.
I'm sure we're gonna all go out to dinner. I haven't even gotten that far yet. I will have
Oh yeah.
things set up once I get there and get to Detroit. I will be able to, pop into restaurants and
Yes.
but I haven't
And
gotten
lock
that far.
everything else in.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that
Absolutely.
far. But folks are requesting to stay near the venue just because it's easier. But then after,
Right, but
when I say easy, 20 minutes is not a big deal. It's not.
right. Well, are these people that are already
No,
local?
no, no, no.
Right.
These are
So if
folks
you're
that are
not
going to.
local, right? Because this is, I got to go out of town for my goddaughter's wedding, right? So yeah, I want to be close to the venue, but I wanted to fly into the airport closest to the venue, but the airport closest to the venue was in DC. So the whole idea of it is that the accommodations that are closest to the venue are 20 minutes away in downtown Detroit.
Well,
Now,
I have to. I don't know because
mhm,
Dana told me that there are
mhm,
hotels in that area, but I will have
okay.
more information for you
Right.
when I get
Okay.
there.
Well, I like I
Yeah,
said,
she said there's a new hotel.
if it's the brand that starts with the H, I didn't look
No,
because
yeah, no, no, no.
yeah,
No, she said
my
it's a new hotel in the
okay,
area. There's some new
okay,
things that are there.
okay. Well,
So once
please,
again, when
because
I get there, I will be calling you to go live. I mean, well,
yeah,
that'll just be between me and you. I'm not because there's stuff that I'm gonna need you to do on your side. So when I get
gotcha.
there, I will do that. But I'm meeting my auntie Nancy there. She already has a list
Yes,
of stuff together. Okay, she's ready. She's just
that's
waiting for me. So I have
praise
to
God
call
for that,
her.
though.
So yeah. So um, I got a lot of stuff to do when I get there. And once I tie up all of that stuff, then we're good to go. We know how to
Absolutely,
proceed.
it's
We know.
gonna be here before we know it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm ready.
Because I know it's a
I'm
women's
ready.
conference, but you do have male viewers, so yeah,
You guys buy your tickets today. Don't wait.
absolutely.
Tickets are selling fast. Go to Eventbrite. Don't play yourself. We are not selling tickets the day of the venue,
Oh
the
no,
day
no,
of
no!
the
They will
event.
not be paying
We
at
are
the door.
not selling
No,
tickets.
no, no,
We are
no.
not selling tickets the day of the event. What will happen is folks will show up who have purchased their tickets through Eventbrite for registration. Um, you will uh, receive, once you're registered, you'll receive your lanyard. You'll receive a swag bag from my mama,
Yes.
and you will then be escorted to your seats. Okay, so like I
It's
said,
gonna be so cool.
I have a few loose ends to tie up, but we are ready. Don't
Absolutely.
forget to buy your tickets early. Tickets are selling fast, and once the tickets are sold out, there's no more tickets for
We'll be streaming
2022.
virtually.
We will. You'll have to wait. to attend the Women's Empowerment Conference 2024. We
Absolutely.
will be hosting a conference in Brooklyn next year, and we will be hosting a conference back in the Midwest because I there's no way possible that I can forget the Midwest because that's where I'm from. So we
Absolutely.
do one here. It has to be one there as well. So listen, family, um, I am going to say goodnight. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and put my feet up. Empress, what are you doing?
I am going to just bring it down. What time is it? 10 at 10:18?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
I
time
just
for
had a
me
salad.
to,
I just had a
yeah,
salad. I'm hungry.
wind down time. And I'm like you, I can drink a cup of
I
coffee
love coffee. I used to
at
drink
this
six
hour
cups
of
of
the night and go
coffee.
to bed. It
I
won't
used to
keep me
drink
up.
6 cups of coffee a day until my doctor said, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean? I
Yeah, that's a
love it.
little
I love
much.
how it tastes. I love it. I
No,
love
I
it."
know, I know.
It strips your
You know,
body of nutrients and vitamins. Do
yeah,
not.
because you're and it's
I
not
love
something you want to
coffee.
drink too much of.
I
No, I
love
love
it.
it too. I
I
adore it.
love it.
But I know that after there was a fast that we did where we only drank water, like we ate like I think
Yeah.
one meal a day, we only drank water. When I came out of that, I could only drink 1 cup a day. And that's why now, like I'll at the very most, I'll either have a tall cup
I
or I'll
can't.
have a cup and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really drink it the way I used to, but
No,
I used
I
to drink
can't
6
either.
cups of coffee easy.
I
Easy.
remember once I had Ethiopian coffee from McNulty's. Remember
Easy.
McNulty's on Christopher Street? I
I
wonder if they're
do.
still there.
I
And
do. You talking
and
old school. You talking what, 10,
way
15,
old
20,
school.
20 years
Yes,
ago?
McNulty's
You're
on
talking
Christopher
20
Street.
years ago in Manhattan? Oh gosh.
Right. And I used to get this one time I was working at Delia's at that's where you used to keep Heru that 9 to 3 something in the morning. And
So
I
for
remember
those that don't know, let me just share this story. Then we gonna stop because we strayed. We're not supposed to be talking about this. So Liz, her oldest son, Heru, she was working. I met her. I don't remember where, but we became friends. And then
you
she
met through
worked at a
Dundalk.
laundromat that I would pass. No, a dry cleaners, a fancy
Yeah, I
fancy
knew you
dry
before then,
cleaners.
though.
Oh,
I
you
knew
did?
you
Okay,
before then because when I
okay,
was running the dry cleaners, Heru was there with me.
okay. Yes. So I did know you
Hmm.
before. Oh, that's right, because I knew you before you had your baby. And
Right.
so I would walk past this fancy dry cleaners, going to our fancy smancy's apartments, right in
Yes,
that
because we were
area.
in fancy
And
schmancy.
you were working a job. Like after you got off the job there, you had another job. And
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but I started watching your baby. So I would pick him up when I got off work,
Right.
right? I would
Yep.
pass it. I would pick him up. I would give him a bath. I would feed him. And I knew that you didn't feed him, but I'm not a big meat eater anyway.
No, you
I would
never. I
feed
never.
him, give him a bath, play with him, feed him, put him to sleep, and you would get off work or get back to Jersey at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I would let you in. We would go to sleep, and I would be back. I would be in Manhattan at 9 o'clock for my job. And
Hmm.
this went on for how long? I don't even know
For a
how many.
long time. It went on for a while because Noom had just started playing with
Burning Spear.
Burning Spear. So he was like about, I want to say 10 months till at least almost 2 years old.
And let me give you this because
Hmm.
people don't know this. So my daddy, God bless his soul,
Oh, yes.
I told my daddy about, I'm watching a little baby and, her son doesn't eat meat. And so this is what I cook. And my father would get such a thrill out of it. And my father would send me money because that was who my
That was the
daddy
company
was.
boy. Yeah.
And my father said to me, I am going to send you extra money so that you have extra food for her and that baby. Now people don't know that. And this is a conversation. How old is your baby? 27 years?
No, 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 no,
27
no,
years.
no.
I
That
never
boy, he's 28. He will be
28.
29 in
That's
July.
almost
And
30 years. That's the story from 30 years. And I didn't
that
tell you that.
thing,
I didn't tell you that until this year.
you didn't tell me that till a couple months ago.
Yeah,
And
I didn't. That's 30 years of a situation that you never knew anything about.
absolutely. And you want to know what that does? That right there, really reaffirmed and confirms my faith that I knew that God was present the whole time, even through me having to, shortly after that, I was pregnant with Sebek, traveling through New York. at that hour of the night. And one of the girls I worked with said, "You know what? Why don't you just come to my place?" She lived on Washington Square North,
Oh, that's
right?
cute. Yeah, it's cute
Across
over
the
there.
street from, right. And so we would walk from Hudson Street to Hudson and like King Street or somewhere like that, somewhere around by where the old garage used to be. And we would
You
walk.
mean the club? Oh wow, you
Did
dated
I tell
yourself.
on myself?
You said the old garage. Yeah,
Househead.
yeah,
Woo!
that's
Anyway, yeah, the old garage.
40, yeah, that's
Woo!
40
Anyway,
something
so
years
we,
ago.
girl, what?
Yeah, that's that you've dated yourself. Okay.
Classic, you know.
Classic.
Anyway, so we would walk, and obviously walking was great for me because I was pregnant with that big old girl because she was like over 8 pounds, and I would go, and she would let me sleep until about 7 in the morning when it was kind of safe to travel
Right.
instead of me traveling at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would, leave her house, hop on the path, and go home. And my mom or you had Heru at that time. And
You
it
have
was so funny because even before that girl did that, there was a group of people that had to catch the A train on 6th Avenue. So they would walk me to so they would probably get on by West 4th Street, but there's another entrance
right.
close to the 8th Street that where that CVS or the Dwayne Reed is, and they would go downstairs and I would walk to the corner and go to the
Are
train
you talking
station.
about where the old Balducci's used to be?
Absolute no, not that far. Yeah. Well, where Baltucci's,
'Cause
yeah.
where you're
Baltucci's was
talking
on the
about
corner.
now
Right.
used to
Well,
be a fabulous French restaurant directly opposite of that.
right,
I don't know.
right.
I used to go there and eat all the time. It had
Right,
lots
and
of
so
cocktails.
that right, but even when I had to travel at that hour, they would go to the A trains, the one not on West 4th, but that
No, I
next
know what you
block,
mean.
right?
Near
Yeah,
Balducci's,
and
where Balducci's used to be. That was
absolutely, they would go downstairs, and the people that would be out there selling books, like the vagrant people that would be out there selling books, they would always speak to me, "Hey, mama, hey, da da da," and speak to me. And then I would go downstairs, and my cousin worked for Path in their janitorial department, and he would be there cleaning up the path. It was amazing to me the string of angels in human form that God stationed on my way. And I'm telling you, it is not lost upon me. I know people may think, what you talking about? Look, I trust and believe in the true and living God. And I that right there, you saying what you said to me those several months ago about Papa Leroy helping you by sending extra money. I mean, it just like I said, I was on my grind, girl. You were there,
yeah,
but
you never
it
knew that.
always proves the point that I say that when people see you making an effort, they are more inclined to help. I never had a problem if in the event that I wanted to ever like go somewhere without my kids, because I had them everywhere. I never had a real problem getting childcare because everybody always saw me working. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
only time I could say that I had a challenge is when I had to do anything music related, because I don't think people saw that as work. Being in the studio
Right.
16 hours
Yeah, they
or
didn't
doing
understand
a
that.
show, or like the biggest thing was I used to play with a band that we would do this 4th of July parade in Willingboro, New Jersey.
Hmm.
Shout out to South Jersey, I guess. No, let me stop. Let me stop being rude.
Shout out to South Jersey.
Let me stop. Anyway, so we used to do that parade, and we would have to be there like 6 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes it would be a challenge helping someone understand that I had a gig that
Hmm.
early in the morning and needed a babysitter. So I would just say to people, "Oh, I have to work," because it didn't matter. It was still work to me. Just because you thought I was having fun, or because I was having fun
Right.
in the process, it was still work. It was still
I
work.
know
I
it's
had to show
crazy.
up.
Listen,
I couldn't say I can't
we
do the
could go
session.
we could go on and on and on. We could
I
go
know.
on and on and on, but it's getting late. So
Yeah,
family,
it
listen, I
is.
love you. Buy your tickets through Eventbrite. Don't play yourself.
Yes,
Once again, we are not selling tickets the day
absolutely.
of
No, we're
the
not.
conference. Tickets are purchased through Eventbrite. Folks that are purchasing tickets will receive email confirmation. They will arrive at the venue. We will register them. They'll receive a lanyard, swag bag, and then they will be escorted to their seats. Um, Purchase your tickets
And
because
we're gonna
once
have
they're sold
food
out, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
and
So I love you
goodies.
guys. I love you, Empress. What do you want
Love
to say?
you
Do you have anything
all.
to say?
See you next time. See you in a couple of days.
Bye.
Small changes.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you all.
We will not be on next time so late because it's some people are in the bed. Bye.